My best push press is 475 pounds, and I have the actual clean and press world record where I split jerked 480 pounds. But today we're gonna answer the question, how much should you be able to overhead press? So today I'm gonna be doing 5 sets of 5 strict press on the log. The first log I've done in about a month, just after my last competition. Then we're gonna go push press with the axle, because I'm going to overhead press 500 pounds on the axle this year to set a new axle clean and press world record. I think I'm gonna work to like 120 kilos today, which should be relatively smooth, but I haven't touched the log in so long. The key to a good overhead press is to think about the arms as the legs of the upper body. It's hard to define overhead pressing because a bend press is a reality of the movement, whereas you can roll yourself back as you press through and then eliminate sort of that strict impressive power of straight standing up. And this was actually an Olympic movement back in the day. It got removed from the Olympics in 1972 because of the reason that it's hard to judge. When is it an overhead press and when is it a laid back press? The world record for the clean and press was 236.5 by Vasily Alexiev. 236.5, he pressed out, which is incredibly, incredibly impressive. But the world record clean and jerk is in excess of 260 kilos. That is by, of course, Lasha. Now, let's go ask some gym goers what they think the average person should be able to overhead press, and we're not gonna give parameters. Let's just see what they say. How much do you think the average man should be able to overhead press?
More than me.
How much should the average man be able to overhead press?
On average? At least maybe half their body weight, if not more.
Half their body weight. Love it. Thank you very much.
90 pounds.
Love it. That's very much in line with first guy. How much do you think the average man should be able to overhead press?
About 120.
Cool. How much can you overhead press?
Maybe 200?
Can you get your arms overhead with your mobility?
Sort of.
How much can you overhead press?
Well, I mean, like my body weight at least.
Give me a number.
I don't know. Let's say 180.
180.
Yeah.
Now you said you should be able to overhead press you at least. Should anyone read into that?
If they want to, I suppose. I'll be a little less than 180.
How much do you think the average man should be able to overhead press?
300 pounds.
Average man, 300 pounds.
Average man.
Is that like the average eligible man for you?
Their body weight, I would say 220.
That is a high bar. You have high expectations.
I'm not really much of a weightlifter. I just come here and use the machines. I don't know what I'm doing.
Now, there are a lot of considerations around this answer, one of which is what style of overhead press. Now, I'm just gonna say strict press, so no legs involved at all. Personally, I can launch a shoulder press at 3/4 the way up. So we're actually just testing lockout power. And then we gotta consider, are we allowing bent press? And bent press was eliminated from the Olympics because it stopped testing overhead strength and started becoming a test of bench press strength. So I don't know how to quantify this, but I'm just gonna say, no silly shenanigans. Your sternum cannot be pointed more than 45 degrees up when you're overhead pressing. I'm gonna say that is the limit for me when determining a strict overhead press. And thank God for me, that's not a parameter in a strongman show. Special guest at the gym today. This is Alyssa Aegis. She writes for the New York Times. And she was explaining when a semicolon is used. And I would love your guys' opinion. Semicolon being dot and comma below. She has some rationale. But I believe that semicolons were strictly invented for people to pretend that they're better than you. If you agree, go ahead and pop that in the comments. I don't think this is a needed, required thing. I think it's just a superiority complex by people who do English for a living. It's amazing how much balance comes into it. My rest between rep 3 and rep 4 was because all the weight went onto my toes, and I just slowly wait for it to shift back onto my heels to be stable again. I would actually say at the top level, a lot of guys are limited in overhead strength because of overhead stability more than actual overhead strength. With this overhead stability, the challenge is that the log's sitting on your chest. You try to keep it around your midfoot, of course, but you naturally push it back up over your head and pull your head through. And if that bit is mistimed and you don't pull your head through fast enough and the log is pushed back, you're gonna stumble backwards, and vice versa. You start pushing, you try to get your head through too quick, it's gonna be natural for you to get too much weight onto your toes. So coordinating the power of your arms with the pressure in your feet and how quick you pull your upper body through is massively important. People think that if you just go to a bent press, it's inherently going to be easier, but you have to balance how much you push your hips forward with how much you drop your shoulders back, or else you're going to lose balance altogether. So these things are all skills to be learned, all tools in the tool belt, but ultimately, if you don't have a stable base from your feet and you don't have good foot pressure, it's going to be impossible for you to launch anything overhead reliably. A really nice table to use when you're doing lifts for reps. We're gonna pop it right there. 1 rep, 100%. 2 reps, I believe it's 97 or 98. 3 reps, 93, 94 is a percent of 1 rep max. 4 reps is 90, 5 reps is 87. There's a couple of landmarks I like to use. 4 reps is 90% of your 1 rep max. 8 reps is 80% of your 1 rep max. These are really good barometers for you to use. So there, 5 reps. We're gonna multiply 140 kilos. Well, we're gonna divide 140 kilos by 0.87, and that's gonna give a predicted 1 rep max for today with no belt and no sleeves, which I'm gonna tell you in just a second. Gonna stick with doubles on this guy today. Focus a lot on that overhead stability. Easy work. We're thinking a good addition would be whatever the person says that they could do, or average person should do, you should give it a crack. You happy to overhead 95? You said 90 is average.
I'll try.
Surely you got that.
Let's go.
You're only 35. You're only 35 once. Yeah, good, bingo, done. Oh, accurate. Would you change your guess after that?
Probably go to 100.
100 for the average man. Right. Do you think you're average?
For overhead press, yes. Not exercise I do.
Okay, cool.
All right.
No way that dude's average. No way. Oh, easy work. Give us one full one. Nice. That's strong. Now he's showing off. Woo! That's good, dude. That's perfect. Re-rack it. We don't see you to get hurt. Unreal. You surprised me on that. That's strong. Well done. Andrew just wasn't up to back it up because his shoulder range is only sort of overhead. So don't get old, folks. It's so easy moving, but it feels weird holding. That is a good intensity for off-season overhead. Estimated 1 rep max in the log press, 161 with no sleeves, no belt. I would estimate that to be mid 170s. My best ever is 182. The goal in off-season is to just hold on to strength, build volume, build fitness. That is going extremely well. And my overhead press today finished overhead for a double push press on the axle at 160 kilos or around 350 pounds. Probably could have hit about 400 today. I'm happy. Let me know what you guys think. What should the average man be able to overhead press? Pop that in the comments and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As per always, lift heavy, be kind, and we'll catch you tomorrow.